Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Here we are. I've got a comment, a question about the Larkbox, the Chuwi Larkbox X Mini, whatever, N100. I did a very brief overview of some of the hardware specs of this product, and I asked if anybody wanted to see a teardown. I thought there was teardowns on the internet. Apparently there's not, based on this comment here. So I went through the struggle, and let me tell you, I can understand why some people aren't excited or have issues tearing down this device. It's not fun. Essentially, it's so well pressed onto this plastic bottom housing that the I/O, being on the front and the back, is extremely difficult to work around, and you guys will see that here coming up in the video. But everything works. I was able to tear everything down. If you are watching this, I want to go ahead and note that I did not tear it down to the socket. In other words, I didn't take off the heatsink on the N100 just because I didn't want to go through reapplying thermal paste and making a mess and stuff like that. I apologize for the lighting. I don't have a dedicated workstation to do this stuff on. A lot of the times when I have products and stuff like that, a lot of times I'm either holding it or I film it out in my living room. In this situation, I just had an old fold-out workstation desk thing that I had. So yeah, if I don't answer the questions or show you what you're looking for, please let me know in the comments. Again, please subscribe. I would eventually like to get a dedicated room or something like that where I can do more videos with a little bit better lighting quality, better camera, and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I did have to shoot this one on my cell phone, so if there's some shaking, I apologize in advance. I tried to set up something where it could be a little stable, but you know how that goes. So with that, I'm going to do a voiceover on what I did tearing down this device. Thanks for watching. All right, so here we have the device. Again, I'm sorry for the recording quality. It's on my cell phone. But yeah, you can see the front I/O, the rear I/O. I already went ahead and removed these 4 screws that have the rubber feet on them. And I'll show you that here. That's what they look like. Those are easy enough. I just used a Phillips or cross tip iFixit kit to get those off. There's a little tab up here as I'm pointing. Doesn't take a lot of pressure. If you have nails, you could probably just pop that off. I use a flathead tip on the iFixit kit because I'm a heathen. You don't need to add a lot of force. Like I said, it just pops right open. Once that's removed, it reveals the bottom side of the device. As you can see here, there is a M.2 SSD as well as the Wi-Fi card just below that. And I'm pointing out the 4 corners here. There are 4 more screws that are super annoying to get to. There's not a lot of space around them. So if you have a longer Phillips or cross tip head to use, I would try to get in there. There's not a lot of space for the standard iFixit. And then you just kind of have these tabs that you press in or just pull up, and those clips will come undone, revealing the top of the device. Be careful as you open it. Obviously, the Wi-Fi antenna is soldered to the top portion. And here I'm pointing out 4 other screws in the 4 corners of the motherboard. So I'll go ahead and get those undone here. So here's the part that's super not fun, okay? What I've found out, the easiest way to go about doing this is putting your fingers through the bottom and pushing up on the motherboard on a solid structure portion. And I would start by doing this from the rear I/O side because the front I/O are very tight in there. So what I did is I pried back the plastic on the rear I/O side and pulled that side out first. And then once I got that out, I just slid it right out the side of the front. There are 2 little tape tabs in the front near the USB ports that are easy. You just pull them right off, and that gives you full access to the motherboard, top and bottom. Obviously, the remaining thing to do here would be to remove the heatsink from the N100 processor. But as you'll see in the video here, I removed the SSD so that you can see the Wi-Fi card. The SSD that's provided in the Larkbox is just an air disk, very cheap. I believe it's a 512. Set that aside. If you wanted to, you could remove the little antenna clips here if you wanted to do a little bit more modification to the device, or you could just remove the Wi-Fi card completely by removing that screw there. And here's just a quick look at the blower style heatsink that is included on the device. You could remove the 4 screws on the bottom of the motherboard to get access to the actual socket. I did not do that here. Again, I didn't want to make a mess and get thermal paste everywhere, so I did skip that. Putting it back together, obviously the easiest thing is going to be putting it back in the bottom, again with front I/O first, and then transitioning that back to the rear I/O. The clips on the USBs and network ports are super inconvenient on their location, and again, very tight fit, as you'll see here in a second. I was eventually able to get that back into the bottom plastic molding there. As luck would have it, I bent up the shroud on the lower USB pretty good when I did that. So you'll see me with a flat head straighten that back out and then jamming a USB drive in there to straighten it back out, because, you know, that's the technical way of fixing the USB shroud. After that, it's pretty simple. Just follow the reverse steps as the beginning of this video, putting the 4 screws into the motherboard to secure it back down to the bottom shroud. After that, you'll flip the device over and attempt to put the 4 screws in the 4 corners of that plastic molding. Be careful as you do this, as there are no metal inserts. It is straight into plastic. So if you go too hard, you will strip those out. And we'll finish up the job by grabbing those last remaining screws with the little feet on there and securing that to the base of the device. And that's finished. I appreciate you guys' comments, asking questions. I'm happy to show you what I know, or work my way through it knowing nothing. In this case, that was kind of what happened. I couldn't find a lot of teardown videos, so I went ahead and attempted it myself. There's probably an easier way rather than peeling back the I/O covers, but that's the best way that I could find out to do it. Again, thanks for watching. Share this if you're having any issues or friends are having issues tearing this down. I hope to see you guys in the next video, and I would appreciate if you would subscribe to know when I post a new video. Thank you.